Welcome back to our channel. Today we're making crock pot chicken soup. So first off, don't mind the baby in the background. Today we're going to make another soup, but this is going to be in a crock pot instead of on the stock pot on the stove. So I made my own broth, but you can use, your store-bought broth if need be. But today, like I said, I've made my own broth. So you're just going to pour that in your crock pot. And I'm going to use just a little bit of the store-bought broth and pour that down in my quart jar just so I can get all my seasonings. When I say a little bit, I'm only using probably about a cup. I'm just gonna get all that out of my jars, pour it in the thing. So I'm using a quart and a pint jar worth of stock. I'm going to use 3/4 cup of peas, 1 pint of corn. This is fresh from our garden with the juices. I'm going to use about 1 cup of onions. I went ahead and cut a bunch, that way I can dehydrate whatever I don't use. Maybe a little bit over a cup of onions. I'm going to use half a cup of celery. Again, using whatever else to dehydrate. So half a cup of celery. And I'm going to use probably about 2 cups of carrots. There's one, peeled and chopped small. 2 cups of carrots. Okay, then we're just going to mix that together to start. And you can see that's looks really good already. Okay, now I'm just going to take some chicken tenders that I have, just because that's the meat that I have to use first. Juices and all, put that down in there. And as it cooks, it'll break up. We don't like to have a whole lot of meat in our soups. Kind of like to have those fresh veggies. And we're going to let this cook on low majority of the day. It is noon right now, and around 5:30 I'm going to go ahead and cook some noodles and maybe pour some noodles in with this. You can also just leave it as is. If you're not making your own stock and you want to add some salt, pepper, a little garlic, and onion powder, a little parsley. You can add oregano if you want it to have more of that Italian flavor soup, or if you want it more hearty, I would just leave it as your salt, pepper, garlic, and onion to taste. My stock that I use actually has like a little bit of lemon, a little bit of rosemary, thyme, sage, kind of like your Thanksgiving turkey would taste. So we're just going to let that sit and cook for a long time, and I'll cut back in once it's cooked for a few hours. It's been a few hours later, and the chicken is tender and falling apart. Just going to scrape it up off the sides a little bit, get the chicken to break up some. Okay, and next I'm just going to take some rotini noodles and boil them off on the side. You can do this in the crock pot as well, but I got home a little late tonight, so I'm just going to boil some off, and then I will just add them to it, and then I'll show you the final product. So I went ahead and cooked the pasta, and we're just going to add that in our crock pot.